Hey, what's up guys? We're going to be going over the dual VCO. We just did the triple VCO. It's not, the same thing as a triple VCO, with just the third oscillator cut out. It's quite a bit different. So one thing you'll notice is the mixing section has disappeared. We have now just a simple mix knob, right? And a VCO is voltage controlled oscillator. We're going to bring this over. We're going to be working with VCO 1, and VCO 1 is here. So the one thing you may notice about this is it's only two oscillators. So why the hell do you want to do that? It's not just two oscillators. You can have multiple waveforms per oscillator, right? So, we have our triangle or sine, and we have our saw, and we have a combination of the two. Right, so you can stack up basically everything. Right, so it's not just two oscillators, it's multiple waveforms, multiple oscillators, which is cool. You select your oscillators here, and you can tune them just like before in here. One thing you notice is this looks weird. There's like a line here. What does that mean? Well, that is a square wave. Alright, well, why is that line there? Well, it's because you can modulate the pulse width. You modulate it with this guy here, PW, pulse width, and you can bring it all the way up until it disappears, which is very, Roland synthy. So you can have basically this guy. So if you want some of your basses to have a lot of bite, simply just add a square wave and reduce the pulse width, and that's how you get some bite. So we have our square wave, that we have a very small pulse width, and our saw wave here. And that's all cool. It's always synced. All these are always synced to each other. Alright, so I want to show you how to you probably heard of the term pulse width modulation. Right here we have, what looks like an embossed sticker type thing. That says no mod. We're going to add a mod. We're going to get into modulations later, but I'll just do this and then you realize what I'm doing later. So I'm going to map this to LFO2 and increase the amount here, the depth rather. Right here. Increase the amount all the way till it disappears. So it's easy to kind of flub this, because the pulse width modulation goes beyond, when it disappears. Also, I should point out rather, is you can modulate the top part in the positive voltage range, or the bottom if you go all the way to the bottom. Depending on what you're doing, say if you have, a sine, you're going to want to have the positive part. Or you can have two kind of pulses going in each direction, which sounds kind of cool. So you can choose to adjust the pulse width and modulate the pulse width via this knob here if you want just the VCO 1 to be modulated and not the VCO 2. So this would be just a regular square. Modulate them or adjust the pulse width of them both. And modulate them both if you're crazy. Get like that digital kind of sound going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to none, no modulation. So one thing you can do is modulate the pitch. So I'll go back to VCO 1. You can modulate the pitch of oscillator or VCO 1, both, or just VCO 2, or split them. So basically what that means is, you can just modulate the pitch, really. That's the amount. You can do both, or just the one, or just the two. You get some kind of, interesting bombastic sounds. So I'll turn that off again. I'll be doing more modulation stuff later. So say if we have our pulse leafy like that, and then I have this guy here. So how would I make that kind of brighter? Is, you know, I'd mix in a pulse, but I don't like how it's, you know, moving along and phasing. You can see the pulse just kind of climbing the mountain. What you can do is you can just sync it. And that's, you know, pretty cool how you do that. You can also just modulate VCO2 with VCO1. So it's basically, you know, FM synthesis, and when it's not synced, it sounds kind of blah, but when it is synced, it sounds, you know, like it makes sense harmonically. You can also modulate the modulation amount. So, you know, we'll do that just for fun. Right, and get some pretty wacky sounds. One thing I want to point out also is you can detune them. So if you have, say, 2 saw waves, you won't cross mod them. What's going on here? Stop that. Envelope 2. Oh, go to none. There. You can detune only oscillator 2, but it still detunes them both. Or you can sync them. Just the phase. It's pretty cool. So you can have 2 pulses. Just the timbre. To possibilities are pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is show you something here. So we have our different kind of revisions, or think of the shape as like the age of the synth. So ideal would be, this is a triangle, this is a triangle, or that's what am I doing? Yeah. So this is a saw. Harmonics. It sounds pretty cool. We can go to analog. Kind of changes the shape. You can see it better with a triangle, actually. That's a triangle. Then we can, oops, what am I doing? Go to analog. It's more rounded. It's rounded, more like a sine. So think of that as like analog-ish. It's the circuitry's kind of worn out. And this has a bit more. I don't know if you can see that. This has a bit of a bite to it. You know, a little bit of a tooth. It makes it seem a bit brighter. So ideal is like, you know, what kind of like what you'd expect. Like brand new out of the box. Hooray, we're in the 90s. We'll see that here. Analog 01 is kind of worn out. And then analog 2 would be like analog brighter. And it's just different shapes, different kind of revisions. And that is basically our dual VCO. And we're going to be getting into other fun stuff. So hold on to your hats. Be right back.